Monica had been dancing all her life. It seemed to her since she was born. Dance was part of her. Only in dance did she feel natural and real. Tonight's concert was amazing. Monica could feel the audience. She could talk to them in body language. She shared her energy with people and got it back from them. Of course, she wasn't dancing alone. They had a dance group, very famous throughout the state. Monica was the soloist in the group and danced almost all the main parts. Strangely enough, there was almost no intrigue in their group. Each member was an individual and felt important. That rarely happens in a creative environment, but in Monica's case, it was. In general, the girl was young, happy, and doing what she loved. In the evening, after the concert, there was a party to celebrate the end of the dance tour. Monica loved such events. She relaxed and had fun at them. A beautiful blue dress accentuated her slender figure, and her hair, falling beautifully over her shoulders, gave her a flirtatious look and framed her face with big blue eyes. She felt gorgeous today and was determined to break a few hearts with her dancing. The party was in full swing when he appeared, a tall, handsome man with a dazzling smile. His appearance drew many interested eyes, and Monica was no exception. She hadn't seen him before, and that added to the interest. The handsome stranger acted as if he were the master of the evening. The young man enjoyed the company of his guests. He was magnificent. "You know, Monica," Kate turned to her friend, "this is Samuel, our mayor's son. I wouldn't advise you to meet him. He's a mean jerk." "I wonder what makes you think that. Do you know him?" Monica asked. "Remember when Lola left us? She didn't even start performing with us, just rehearsing." Kate continued. "She got pregnant and decided to keep the baby. And do you know who it was with? Samuel. As soon as he found out about her pregnancy, he disappeared right away without even saying goodbye. His father's lawyer offered her a lot of money to sign various documents, that she had no claims and was ready to raise the child alone. Lola decided to take the money. She would need it when the baby was born. She was able to buy herself a small apartment, and she didn't want to see the guy anymore, so she didn't mind the deal." Monica listened intently to Kate and couldn't believe that all those unpleasant words applied to that handsome man. He smiled so sincerely and was so polite to the girls. Monica liked him so much. Perhaps Samuel would have liked her too, but he wasn't paying attention to her. She wondered, looking at Samuel, and didn't even notice that he was now looking at her too. Monica came to her senses when Samuel was on his way to her. A little embarrassed, she pulled herself together and looked him boldly in the eye. Thus began their acquaintance, and for a month Monica and Samuel were together. She fell madly in love with him, disregarding her friends' warnings. Sometimes she thought they were just jealous of her. Now she had two passions in her life, dancing and Samuel. After the concert rehearsal, they arranged to meet for dinner. Samuel picked her up and took her home so she could change. Monica cleaned herself up and presented herself to her lover in all her glory. "I'm ready and I'm happy." Monica smiled. "You're adorable as always," Samuel replied and kissed her. "Well, shall we go? I'm really hungry." "Come on, I'm hungry too," Monica replied. The evening was great. The restaurant, the gourmet food, the extraordinarily delicious wine, everything was top-notch. The only thing that made Monica a little uncomfortable was that Samuel drank too much wine. "Samuel, have you decided to take a cab home?" she asked. "What makes you think that? Are you sick of my car?" He smiled. Don't worry, my beauty, I know my quota. Besides, I've got a great night out with my girl that I wouldn't refuse for the world. He smiled sweetly again. The smile made Monica melt like ice cream. She smiled back at him and continued eating her dinner. After the restaurant, Monica wanted to insist that he not drive. Samuel had too much alcohol and was drunk. Let's better call a cab. You can't drive in that condition. I think you're drunk, the girl suggested. Yes, I'm drunk, but not from the wine, but from you, my love, the boy said and kissed her hard. This did not please Monica very much. She had never seen him like this before. She wanted to object, but the guy had already started the car and was driving away. He certainly looked very nice. Monica admired him every time he drove. It was as if Samuel and the machine were one. Now she was admiring it and was just about to calm down when she was blinded by a harsh light. Then she heard screeching brakes and a hard bang. Consciousness came sporadically. First it was voices. Monica, can you hear me? Can you open your eyes? She felt heavy in her head and struggled to open her eyes. Oh, good, you're awake, said the nurse next to the girl. Monica slowly turned her head and saw that she was in a hospital room. There were some machines around her. She was lying on the bed, and she didn't understand what was going on. Where am I? She asked the nurse who was plugging in the monitor at the time. You're in the room of St. Patrick's Hospital, the nurse replied, turning to Monica and smiling. The smile did not come out naturally, and the girl realized that something was wrong. What happened? Monica turned again to the nurse. You've been in an accident. And then the girl remembered the bright light and the impact. She wasn't alone there. Samuel was with her. What's wrong with him? I wasn't alone. What about him? My boyfriend. She began to feel strongly that the nurse didn't want to tell her the bad news. Don't worry, you need peace and rest. There's nothing wrong with him. The impact was on your side, and he wasn't hurt, just a few scratches. Do you want me to call someone and report what happened? Tell Samuel I'm already awake. Where is he? Monica wasn't quite sure what was happening to her and was waiting for Samuel to come into the room any minute. I'll get the doctor to examine you, the nurse replied and walked out. A few minutes later, the doctor entered the room. He looked very confident, and that reassured Monica. Monica, I'm Dr. Curld. I want to tell you that you had us worried, but your vitals are stabilizing now. I have to tell you that, unfortunately, we were unable to save your leg. We had to amputate it. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. What did you say? I didn't understand, Monica said, unable to believe her ears. We had to amputate your foot to save your life. Do you have relatives who can come and support you? I can assure you that modern medicine allows you to feel quite comfortable with a prosthesis while walking. The doctor wanted to support and reassure the patient. What happened to Monica at that moment is impossible to describe in words. She was silent at first. Then she started laughing. Then she started crying and screaming. Several nurses ran into the room and held Monica while she was hysterical. Then the doctor told the nurse to give her a sedative shot right away. Monica fell asleep. Monica had already been in the hospital for about a month. She was gradually recovering. It was difficult for her. The girl was depressed, not only by the physical trauma, but also by the fact that Samuel turned out to be a real scumbag, as her friends had warned her. He came to her only once, and only to have Monica testify that it was her, not him, who was driving the car. The girl looked at him and did not understand where his attractiveness had gone. Before her stood a pathetic, frightened creature, not unlike the man she loved. How he had become disgusting to her. She would not even be able to speak to him. As he was leaving, he stopped at the door of the room and said, Well, what have you achieved? I'll be acquitted anyway. But you could at least make some money. And now you lie here and die. Who needs you now, invalid? And with these words, he slammed the door. Along with the door slammed, not only the opportunity to be near the man I love, but also to live. Dreams of a future in which she could no longer dance were shattered. Why live if there was no more room in her life for dance? Gradually, her young and strong body began to recover. The guys from the group visited her and tried to support her. However, after their visits, Monica cried and blamed herself for trusting the scoundrel. One day, Monica was sitting on the balcony of the hospital. Summer was in full swing. Everything was in full swing. Birds were chirping, cars were rattling, and people were rushing about, busy with their lives. Only she was forced to sit in a wheelchair on the balcony of the hospital. So she sat there feeling sorry for herself. Suddenly, the door opened and another stroller rolled onto the balcony. In it sat an elderly woman, very thin. It was obvious that she was very ill. The wheelchair was placed next to Monica, and the nurse adjusted the plaid on the woman, then went indoors. The woman turned to the girl and smiled. Monica was struck by her eyes, surprisingly young and lively despite her wrinkled skin and frail body. "Let's get acquainted," the woman suddenly said. "My name is Hetty Gardner. And you?" "I'm Monica," the girl replied. Hetty shifted her gaze to Monica's leg and asked, "What happened?" The girl didn't want to talk about what had happened, but out of politeness, she couldn't keep quiet. "Accident," she answered as briefly as possible. "Now you've decided that life is over and you're going to sit around feeling sorry for yourself," Hetty said firmly. Monica looked at the woman in surprise. Suddenly, she felt a wave of indignation and responded sharply. "What do you know about me to make such conclusions? What makes you think I would confess to you?" Hetty Gardner didn't take her eyes off the girl. "Anger, a good feeling, means you're not dead yet, but it might soon," she said. "Anger needs to be channeled elsewhere." Monica did not answer, pressed the nurse's call button, and when the nurse arrived, she asked to be taken to her room. All day long, she pondered Hetty's words. The words, "That means you're not dead yet," echoed in her head, and with each repetition, she realized that she was not dead, and that meant something had to be done. In the evening, Monica got into her wheelchair and left the room on her own, without the help of a nurse, in search of Hetty Gardner. She found her in room 3. "Mrs. Hetty, may I come in?" she asked. "Sure, come on in, honey, and just call me Hetty," the woman replied. She was alone in the room, slowly getting out of bed. "Would you like some tea?" she asked. "I have everything you want here. Candy, buns, cookies. Kids don't leave me. They bring treats every day." That evening, Monica had a long talk with Hetty. Thanks to this conversation, she began to heal faster. It turned out that Hetty was a teacher choreographer, and in the past, she was quite a famous ballerina. After her career ended, Hetty worked as a teacher at the university, and then, due to illness, she left to work in a dance school. She worked with children for more than 10 years, but the disease continued to progress. She had to leave her job, but the children loved her so much that they never stopped visiting her, even when she was already home. They often came and shared their successes. Hetty always found a kind word for everyone. When she was hospitalized after a severe attack, children often came, though they were not always allowed in the room. There were times when the woman was very sick, but when her condition improved, the children's visits were a great joy to her. Monica watched these meetings with great amazement and realized that to deserve such love, you need to be not only a professional in your business, but also genuinely loved children. One day, Hetty told Monica the story of an Indian dancer, Sudha Chandran, who managed to return to dancing after losing her leg. Monica didn't immediately believe it and asked how that was possible. Dancing on a prosthesis. Nothing in the world is impossible. It all depends on us, how much we love what we do and what we're willing to do for it, Hetty said. When Monica was discharged from the hospital and returned home, she was pleasantly surprised. Her friends had surprised her. The rooms were in perfect order. There were flowers in vases, and a real holiday gathering with delicious treats had been prepared. With her friends gone, Monica was alone, and lately she had been thinking more and more about what Hetty had said about the Indian dancer. She took her laptop, opened a search engine, and typed in the dancer's name to learn more about her story. The girl learned that the tragedy happened in 1981, but the dancer is still alive and actively working. After learning the dancer's story, Monica was determined that she too could return to the stage. That night, she went to bed confident that everything would work out. Monica received a cherished book in the mail, a dance training program developed by Sudha Chandran after the accident. Monica found this book after a long search, and she had to go a long way to get it. Simultaneously with her book search, Monica looked for an opportunity to buy a plastic prosthesis. This turned out to be another huge problem, since the cost of such prostheses exceeded all her wildest assumptions. However, the guys from the group came to the rescue, organizing a charity tour of the cities and collecting money on the page of the group and social network. The friends raised the necessary amount for the girl. 4 months after being discharged from the hospital, Monica was able to stand on a prosthesis. Afterward, she went to rehab where she was taught to walk with a prosthesis. Monica had a clear goal and she knew that nothing would stop her. She soon learned that Hetty Gardner had died. All this time, Monica had not forgotten about her and often visited her home. Together, they discussed what to do next, and Hetty always supported and encouraged her. She helped Monica to believe in herself. At the funeral, Monica came without crutches, and only a faint limp indicated that she had a prosthesis. At the grave, Monica promised Hetty that she would definitely return to the stage. For Monica, the most difficult period began, and she had to practically relearn the technique of dance. This outwardly fragile girl had willpower of steel. She practiced 10 hours a day, went home, took off her prosthesis, and wept in pain. Her leg was often wiped out until it bled, but Monica would wash the wounds, apply special ointments, and go to sleep. The next day, she went back to the choreography room. Over time, a seal formed at the joint between her foot and the prosthesis, similar to guitar players' fingers, and the pain disappeared. Now, Monica was in almost no pain. She had her body back to its former plasticity and flexibility and was ready to return to the band. It was a momentous day for Monica. 2 years after the accident, she was able to become a full-fledged member of the dance team again. She became an example to many. She even had a solo number. Monica's phenomenon became known far beyond the state, and her concerts always drew full houses. All the while Monica was recovering from the tragedy, she heard nothing about Samuel. All she knew was that he had not been punished for the accident. Monica was sitting in the kitchen drinking tea when the local news turned on. In the first minute, she heard that the mayor's son had been admitted to the hospital with a gunshot wound. He had been wounded in a showdown with the husband of a girl he had been with that evening. The bullet grazed his spine, and there was speculation that Samuel may be in a wheelchair forever. The resentment Monica had once felt from the man she loved resurfaced. She got dressed and drove to the hospital. Samuel lay in a separate room, hooked up to various machines. There were many flowers in the room. One could see that it was a VIP ward. When Samuel saw Monica, he was surprised and then smiled. The smile was pathetic. Monica thought to herself. "Good to see ya," Samuel said. "Hello, Samuel. How are you doing?" "As you can see, I'm not having the best time, and I thought of you all the time. You were the best girl I ever had," he replied. Monica was disgusted by those words. There was not a shred of sincerity in them. She realized that this man would remain a cynic forever. "Really?" she asked. "And when was that? When did your daddy bail you out of jail?" The smile disappeared from Samuel's face, and in an instant there was anger on his face. "What are you here for? To look at me? To gloat?" "No, I came to return your words that you told me the other day," Monica replied confidently. "Now, lie here and die. Who needs you now, invalid?" After saying these words, Monica got up and left the room, feeling powerless with anger. Samuel grabbed the mug from the table beside the bed and threw it through the door. Monica walked home and felt that nothing was holding her back now. From now on, the girl knew that nothing was really impossible in this world. The main thing is to believe and not give up. In loving memory of Hetty Gardner, whose picture now held the most honorable place in the choreography room and in Monica's home.